Welcome to Old Fashioned Finance, the podcast that mixes cocktails and high finance. I'm your host, Caleb Frankert, and I'm joined by my good friend and fellow money muddler, Jason Burnell.
Caleb, can a podcast about finance be entertaining?
Not without alcohol.
All right. You mixed it up.
I did.
You did. Finally, we had a cocktail now.
Chrysanthemum.
Is that what it's called?
Chrysanthemum.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's harder to say after two-a-days. Yeah, we've been doing that a lot lately.
Chrysanthemum?
You know, we talked a lot about whiskey on the last
That's a flower, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And there's none of that in this cocktail.
Well, that makes perfect sense. We did talk about whiskey a lot.
Yeah, we talked about the small batch whiskey that we were trying a lot.
Yeah.
And we didn't even catch up on a whole lot. We're going to catch up on this episode for sure. But
Yes.
yeah. I got back from Florida.
Yeah.
On spring break.
We came back and we're like, you know what? The biggest headlines are going to be bank failures, worries about the market.
Uh-huh.
And then God said, hold my beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
And the levee broke.
And the levee broke. When the levee
breaks.
The great flood of 2023.
And it's only, April when this episode
yeah,
comes out.
that's all right.
But, you know, one of the...
Our office flooded,
yes.
guys. That's what happened.
And we're going to talk about it a lot this episode.
We are. We're going to get you guys caught up.
But we're going to make it applicable to finance.
Applicable.
For sure. I say applicable.
You are a hick.
Give me back your chrysanthemum. No, I was... it's funny because we talked about our trip. We went to Florida for spring break. We did spring training baseball, which was great. We did Disney World for a couple of days.
You, out of all the people in the universe, you sat next to
I
somebody
sat next to people from our hometown. Yeah, so it's really, really funny. It comes to the top of my mind because she just stopped in the office.
She did.
Today.
That was awesome.
My new friend Donna.
Yes.
Yeah. So we went to
you guys are
Yankee
like two golden girls.
Yeah, really. She's so fun to talk to. But yeah, we went to Yankee spring training in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, by the way, like 64 degrees that day.
Yeah, beautiful.
And we fried, man.
Yeah.
The sun in
you
Florida
were
is different. Yeah, my ears are still peeling. My son, he had blisters under his eyes and on his ears. Felt like parent of the year. Although I would say that
you took him to
that's his mother's responsibility. I took him to the baseball game, right?
Yeah,
sorry.
We'll see how that works out for you.
Dang it. Now I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, we sat down. It was one of those standing room only, but they actually have seating all along the wall. And I told Jason, I told everybody here, I think I texted you guys, like, guess who I'm sitting next to?
You did.
But I went to sit down next to this nice-looking couple. And I said, "Hi, do you mind if we sit here?" "Oh yeah, absolutely." And I said,
"Because this is like open seating. You can sit."
Yes,
along,
open seating.
Yeah,
it was standing room.
Yep.
It's just they have a table that goes all along the wall,
That's
and then
cool.
there's seats, so you can bring your concession, sit down, and eat, and then you just kind of stake your claim. And I said, "Well, we're usually pretty good neighbors." So I looked over and I noticed his blue hat with a white D on it, and I said, "Where are y'all from?" No, I didn't say it like that. But I said, "Hey, where are you guys from?" And just assuming that they weren't from Tampa,
right.
And the gentleman says to me, "Well, you've probably never heard of it. Small town in Ohio." And I go, try me. I know that hat anywhere, right? He says, "Oh, you've probably never heard of Defiance, Ohio, have you?" And I said, "Yes, I have. That's where I live." So it's funny. It turned out they're wonderful, really, really nice people. And I go, who knew you had to drive 1,100 miles to meet great people from your hometown? I'd never met them before.
And, she followed up. She brought you a book.
She did.
It's great.
They love baseball. They were there. So their grandson plays for Defiance Baseball.
Yep.
And they have some tournaments down there. But the team took in a spring training game as well. Just happened to be one that we were at. And so they were there with him. And, we got talking about baseball. I feel like she could get a lot of information out of somebody. Maybe she should work here. But, yeah, she got out. I coach baseball, all that kind of stuff. And she said, "I have a great book for you to read." And she said, "I'm going to bring it by your office."
That's awesome.
And, we were finishing up that last podcast. I heard the ding and turned around, and there's my baseball friend, Donna.
Oh, that's just cool.
Book. Yeah.
And that's why you take vacation.
To meet people from your hometown.
Before the levee breaks.
Well, I took vacation after the levee broke.
Oh, that's right.
But it was a well-timed vacation for me.
Yes.
It's probably well-timed for you, too, because there were not as many people in the building.
Yeah, so, the Great Flood impacted our business pretty good.
It did.
We have our office, think of like a single floor, about 4,000 square feet. It's pretty big.
Yeah.
Old building.
So
you
think
can
4,000 square feet of flooring.
Flooring, yeah. We had a water filter fail under our sink.
The girls here are really, really insistent that we have clean drinking water.
Filter water, I don't understand.
I'm like, as long as the ice is clear, we're okay.
So it failed, and for
big time,
at least 8 hours, we had full city pressure from every corner.
Yeah,
of this
water
place.
pressure is not a problem here. I'll
Nope,
tell you that.
Nope. And as you can imagine, thousands of gallons of water on your floor that is, really, really old and needs replaced after 2 whole years.
Yeah. 2 whole years of stepping on it.
Yeah. So 7 days of Service Master in our office.
Shout out to Service Master, by the way.
Yeah, that's actually up there. I said,
yes, it is.
They are amazing angels.
Can you believe how chipper and happy they were doing
Ridiculous.
the work that they were doing?
I mean, it was like bad.
Yeah.
And the bad part about it is that it's happening so fast.
Uh-huh.
And so we're not even like hardly thinking. And I'm trying to like get things sucked up and moved and get the things that are valuable moved. And they just come in. They came in like a couple hours after we got here. And I mean, the yellow trucks in Defiance show up, Service Master. And
it's
this
serious
army
when
of
they
people.
show up.
Yeah, there's three trucks and a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And they just went to town, moving stuff, ripping floor, making decisions fast.
Smiles on their faces the entire time.
The whole time. And, I am like, it's kind of like you got punched in the gut. I mean, I'm like trying to like just figure out which way is up. But I honestly, like, silver lining in all of this, the funniest part of this whole thing still will be when you called me.
I didn't think it was funny.
I know you did. I didn't know. I'm on the other end. Like, you're like, we have big problems at the office. And I'm like, well, I guess I'll change. That's what I said.
That was what I remember. The funniest thing about it was after I explained to you the situation, you go, all right, I'll change clothes. And then I said, and bring a couple shop vacs with you.
Turns out we needed about 40 shop vacs and 15 people, but
it did suck up the water pretty fast.
All right, let's drink.
Well, okay, yeah, we are going to
ahead of
this,
ourselves.
We're going to turn this into a finance topic for sure.
We are,
because it was a financial event.
Catastrophe.
Today we are drinking cocktails again. This one, Jason, we just happen to have all the ingredients, and there are quite a few ingredients, but since we had all of them, chances are you might have them too.
So excited.
I think technically it's considered a brandy cocktail, but in a second I'll read the ingredients, and you decide, is it brandy or bourbon?
Okay.
Can it be both? Yeah, I would say so. This is called the Chrysanthemum.
Chrysanthemum.
Don't ask me to spell it.
There's a lot of letters in that word.
Don't ask me to say it again. Chrysanthemum. Anyway, what we're drinking here today is comprised of, quite a few ingredients if you're watching the podcast on YouTube.
Yep.
Or Facebook Live or wherever you watch it. Not live. What am I thinking?
I don't know.
We're not doing this live.
You're a boomer.
Anyway, on the face page. What we've got here is 3/4 of an ounce of cognac.
Okay.
Brandy. Brandy will do. 3/4 of an ounce of bourbon.
Yes.
3/4 of an ounce sweet vermouth.
Oh. This is all so good.
Yes, very good.
Excited.
I love it. Back to Benedictine.
Yes.
We are going to go through this bottle.
Yeah. For sure.
1/4 of an ounce of Benedictine.
Okay, so not a lot.
That's a condiment, right?
Yeah. It'll sweeten it up a little with the vermouth.
And then to give it some real spice here, we've got Creole bitters.
Yes.
Creole. Yeah.
Creole.
We used Peychaud's bitters.
Yes.
Which are really popular for drinks like the Vieux Carré. Any what's the word I'm looking for? Like New Orleans-based cocktails, I think. You better have some Creole bitters, some Peychaud's.
Yeah, it feels, it really smells like, I said like a...
You said red hot.
Red hot, yeah.
And I got a little bit of licorice in there, too.
Which
but
makes
not
sense.
Off-putting. Not off-putting.
Yeah, yep.
1 dash of Angostura bitters.
Or 7.
Or, season to your little heart's desire. We garnished that with a maraschino cherry and lemon peel. And you went off script this time,
I did.
probably because a lot of stuff is packed away.
That's what I
you
could
went
find.
With the Great Value brand over the
We're all in on
Luxardo
this one,
cherries.
baby.
But in a pinch, these work just fine too, and they're like $3 a jar.
And they're available.
They're a
good.
brandied cherry.
Oh yeah. They're good. They're not the fluorescent red
Right.
maraschino.
Jolly Ranchers.
Yeah, Jolly Ranchers. All right.
So we probably should have this in a coupe glass, but those are packed away right now. So we built it in a rocks glass. But yeah, mix all that stuff up with some ice, strain it out into a glass with fresh ice, and he's tried his already.
Yes.
Ooh, that's sweet.
A little more bourbon would do you good.
Yeah.
Yes.
It smells wonderful. I'll say that much. It smells really, really
that's
good.
a summer drink. That's a summer
You
drink.
think so?
Oh yeah. Even
See,
though it has brandy in it.
I see brandy and I think winter drink. But,
No, that's a summer drink. I like that. Dang. I had high hopes for this one.
I would put this in the crowd pleaser category. I think if you like whiskey, okay, you're good. If you're a brandy person, you definitely taste the brandy.
But it's the warmth of the brandy and it's sweet too. So
Yeah.
brandy's kind of sweet anyway.
Yes, absolutely.
So
if you got a sweet tooth, this cocktail will scratch the itch.
Yeah. Like I said, maybe up the bourbon a little bit.
I agree, but I always say that.
Yeah, that's our typical. But this is a great drink. I'm not sure if I would order this at a bar unless you are real confident in the bartender.
Chrysanthemum.
I'll take the chrysanthemum, please.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't even know if they would know what it is.
you're confident enough saying it or spelling it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I
like
many
this. This is
bartenders
awesome.
It's
This
good.
is awesome. Try it at
Glad
home.
we had a winner. I feel like we were maybe
were-
not striking out, but
I'm still recovering from that freaking Tootsie Roll bullcrap you gave me.
I didn't invent it, man. But
Anytime there's
100 some podcasts in, you got to start looking places.
root beer and a Tootsie Roll in there.
By the way, looking places. I found this one on ohlq.com as well.
And you know what, man? They're doing a good job in Ohio.
I think so.
I mean, maybe people don't agree with me, but
It's better than it has. I mean,
it's
in the last few
improving.
years, it's really
improving.
yeah.
So
I'm just thinking from a bourbon perspective,
Mhm.
we've gotten a hold of a lot of cool stuff. Great.
man, that is
Let's
great.
let's get on to the finance portion.
I don't
want
want to. I want to drink this.
I don't care.
All right, I don't care. Yeah. So
how did the Great Flood, the levee breaking, how was that relevant from a finance perspective for our listeners?
yeah. So I think this is.
Other than feel real bad for us.
We didn't want to ruin the topic with saying you should understand your insurance. Okay. Your property and casualty insurance. But that is really the moral of the story. And I'm going to be honest with you. We're going to kind of defer to the experts a lot in this.
Sure.
Okay. But the impact of when the levee broke and we had the Great Flood, you start to, at least I did, I started to see the dollar signs.
Of
pretty quick. 7 days, 8 days of Service Master-ish. 4,000 square feet of flooring all had to come up and go in the garbage can. Other things that you don't think about, all the trim came off. It's going to have to be repainted.
Yep.
Cleaning alone.
Yeah.
I mean, this place was a disaster.
The mitigation part of it, which I never even considered.
Right. Subfloor had to come up. I mean, the basement, we had monitors and furniture and things like that all got ruined. And you really, that's that gut punch I'm talking about. I was even up till this week, I still have felt like in a bit of a funk, trying to sort my brain out. Now, I will say this: I have the best team that there is to have.
I'm glad this is recorded.
Yeah. So flexible, so kind, willing to go to the coffee shop and have a field trip and work from, your pastor's office and your kitchen tables and by the next day we were
It wasn't
functional.
ideal.
We were functional. We had the Blue Jay Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Everyone packed into the conference room except for me because
one
I
of-
couldn't put up with these idiots.
Yeah,
every
it's
day.
one of those things that you think you see the pictures and you're like, we'll laugh about this one day.
Yeah.
Not today.
Not today.
Not today.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Look at us laughing about it.
it is, I know we are. I'm thinking about you guys in there right now. I could hardly sit still, all the anxiety and stuff just pulsing through my body. So
I was anxious about going on vacation, and for me, I was like, I better get out of here.
And actually, silver lining in lots of things, okay? Like, number one, this wasn't my house. I don't live here. It did disrupt our business a lot. Service Master was great. They came in.
Yeah.
They took care of a lot of this. I couldn't have done it. We had 3 of our 7 folks on vacation for spring break.
We sure did.
Yeah.
What a great time for a filter to fail and water to go everywhere.
So you just weren't here. And so we were able to get subfloor back in, lots of noise, move furniture back, get the place kind of cleaned up, and then I would say like as close to functional as we're going to get. And really start making strides around like getting flooring replaced and things like that. But it's like 1,000 easy steps, right? Like none of it's difficult, but all added up, it does add up to a lot in the complications. So
let me ask you a question. Because immediately I thought too, oh my gosh, this is going to disrupt business, which also there's a dollar sign behind that too.
Absolutely.
Right?
Oh, definitely.
But also, I mean, I had to reschedule some appointments as flexible as we were. But we stop revenue producing activities in some cases. But aside from that, you're thinking, oh, thank God I have insurance. And then how long did it take you from going, thank God I have insurance, to going, wait a second, what's in my contract here?
Yeah, it wasn't very long. And I've been saying jokingly, the adjuster came last week and last Thursday, and the nervousness I had was similar to like anticipating having a baby, and I've done that 7 times.
So it wasn't that bad.
It was pretty bad. I was real nervous. I hate to say that because you just don't know. I mean, these folks they're here to I guess make you whole again. But you hear so many horror stories, and we deal with I guess bad insurance companies with folks sometimes. And I think that is a huge testament to the folks that we work with. We work with Grant Insurance here in Defiance.
And they were there right away.
Immediately. I mean, like wanting to help us clean up,
moving furniture.
Morris floor covering in Defiance, like out the next day measuring. Like that is just, you cannot dismiss what that means.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, but it wasn't, with all the reassurance I was getting, I was still very nervous.
Well, at the end of the day, and this is what I've told clients when explaining like insurance, life insurance contracts and annuity contracts and all kinds of different insurance related things. Look, there's a couple of businesses that just don't lose. Right. And insurance is one of them. And you look at the situation, and I think what a lot of people would say was bad situation, but boy, we won this time, right? No one beats the insurance companies. Nah. So immediately you're thinking, well, okay, these companies who are in it for a profit, they're going to go out and they're going to mitigate their losses too.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, because we had a product failure.
Yeah.
And we don't know how that's going to shake out. But, at the end of the day, this is why you have insurance, okay? And I think there's definitely correlation between our tragic events and the like lessons from the trenches that we just experienced. Again, like this is tens of thousands of dollars. We might even hit $100,000 in losses. That's how significant this is. It's going to be real close, and I still kind of feel a little anxiety about it. Our office, we put our heart and soul into. I mean, it's 2 years old. It was a restoration of I would call dilapidated downtown building. Okay. Like many other Midwest towns. I mean, these buildings have fallen to disrepair, and we just built one up from basically scratch. Yeah. And so
had good bones.
Not really, but it had a lot of bones with osteoporosis, but we fixed that.
We knew a good orthopedic surgeon.
That's right. And so, but we have an office that we kind of covet. I mean, it's a wonderful place to be.
Sure, we've had a lot of fun events here recently, and
it feels very homey. And so it's not a drywall box with a drop ceiling. So I think that's what made it a little bit harder for all of us. So lessons from the trenches.
Yeah.
Okay. I think number one, I'm going out of order here on my
That's
little
fine.
note board. Number one, you need to work with someone that's got your back.
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes
paying a little
that
more.
might mean paying a little more, right?
Yeah. So if you're,
You only have to have one of these issues once for that to pay off, by the way.
if you think Shaquille O'Neal from 1-800 General Insurance is going to come out and help you in this situation, he's not. Okay. You need to be able to pick up the phone and get a hold of these folks, and someone's got your back when they're showing up in your office as the loss is happening.
Yeah, I mean, the water was barely turned off, and they were here helping us move furniture.
Yeah.
But and dealing local and knowing the people that you work with, right? We've got a good relationship with them.
Exactly. Exactly.
You don't skimp on insurance.
Right. Yeah. So I think that kind of leads us into the next thing, which is really like you need to understand what you have going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Like your limits. And again, we're not experts in this area.
Right.
We're gonna turn to someone who is.
So I want to turn the tables, right? And think about the clients who come in and see us and they go, look, I know I need help in this area. And I talk to Jason and Caleb because they understand the markets. They understand my contribution limits. They understand
retirement
all
plan.
of these things.
Yep.
So I'm going to just trust them.
Right. Yeah. And so when I'm looking at like, I pulled this, we have this check sheet. It's really awesome. Like what things should I consider when reviewing my property and casualty insurance policies? You know, have I thought about what my deductible is? How much is it? How am I going to pay for it? Has my home's value increased so much that I need to increase?
Which is if you think about what's happened over the last couple of years with real estate values, here's a reason to get this stuff looked at.
And I will tell you right now, that conversation was had with my insurance agent. It was Megan at Grants. She's like, your building is only covered for, X dollars. You should probably increase that because it's worth more than that. And she's right. You're dang right. Yeah. Yeah. So that's a huge deal. Do you have personal property that's worth a ton? You know what? We have a lot of antiques in here.
Yeah.
And we did talk about increasing the contents.
Is it wrong to think that when I opened the door that day and I heard the water gushing, I went, my guitars!
My guitars! Where's my Nintendo? I'm not going to lie. Those things kind of cross my mind, too. I'm like, I don't have a lot of nice stuff, but
all
it's
of
all
my
here.
Cool stuff is here. Yeah, I think that's another lesson. Not just the building, the dwelling, the contents.
Correct. Yeah. And the last part of that didn't really fit our scenario, but as a business owner, I always want to touch on, which is the liability coverage. So car insurance, things like that, umbrella policies on your home. You need to make sure you've got ample liability, especially if a net worth over $500,000. So you need to consider things like your house, your 401k, your investments, things like that. So you can get to that $500,000 number pretty fast. And so you need to think about umbrella policies, make sure your liability limits. But again, lean on your experts. They know your situation too. Don't be afraid to share. But I think this is a lesson that I didn't necessarily want to experience. But, you start to realize why, the online maybe insurance gurus that are out there may not have your best interest in heart. I would have had to call an 800 number. I probably wouldn't even have seen an adjuster by now. And those are all on the flip side when you really need it. Why you might pay a little bit more.
You know what? And so this is a nice lead in because I want to ask a question and then I'm going to kind of answer a question, my question, and then have you kind of jump in. The
I'm
question,
nervous.
I think similar, the parallels in the insurance business and in the business of asset management and financial planning, they do kind of run side by side.
They do.
And I would say that you could really get into the weeds and say we are fiduciaries.
Correct.
And insurance folks technically are fiduciaries too. Now they can operate as far as their pay outside of those bounds and things like that. But I think the question, and that's something we tell clients all the time, or prospective clients, look, we're fiduciaries.
Mm-hmm.
We have a legal obligation to do what's in your best interest and have a documented process that that's what we're doing.
Right.
How do you know that someone's got your back?
Yeah.
And when it comes to insurance, I'm just going to flat out say it, and I'll use my own experience. While we're shouting out people and I guess plugging local businesses.
It's fine with me.
My insurance person, Rob Lawson here in town, Rosen Kistner, right? Something I didn't get from the last company that I was with for 15, 16, 17 years, something like that, was I'll get a phone call or a text message. Hey, guess what? I think we need to look at this because somebody out there is offering better coverage, and I think I can save you a little bit of money. I didn't explore that. I didn't say, hey, Rob, my premiums are going up. I just got my renewal. What the heck, man?
Right.
No.
Exactly.
So I would say there's one way to know that someone's got your back. They're constantly looking at options when you're not thinking about that.
Yeah, because that's going to likely result in them having to do more work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Not necessarily make anything more.
Yeah.
Okay. But they're trying to look after their client.
And from a business standpoint, it makes sense to have a client maybe even paying less than what they're paying, but have them for longer, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, we charge based on assets under management.
We hope they grow.
Exactly. We're in the don't lose clients, retain clients for the long term.
Right.
That's how we win.
Exactly.
And it's the same kind of mentality. So I guess I'm drawing some parallels in our businesses here a little bit.
Definitely.
How to know somebody's got your back
Mm-hmm.
is you don't get a phone call when they're trying to sell you something.
You don't get a phone call when they realize
or
you're
I should say
transferring.
only.
Right.
Yeah.
When you're transferring or doing something different. Reaching out on a regular basis, making sure you understand, answering your questions, all those things are really, really critical. And following up in a loss like this, it wasn't one email, it was several.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot to be said for that. A big part of business is the human component. Okay, I am a business owner that cares for a lot of folks, that helps. We have employees here that are serving our clients, and we were really, really displaced.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a human thing to do, is to be like, hey, is everything all right? So I'm really grateful for that. And I think if you don't have someone like that, if you're going to, progressive.com or, you may want to just, double check. Okay. Send us an email. We'll send you this check sheet. It's asking questions.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great check sheet. Like, take an inventory of your house. Like, are you considering all of your policies, your life insurance, your car insurance? Are your limits proper?
Yeah.
And there's lots of rules of thumb. And it's not always about getting the lowest cost, the minimum coverage. A lot of times it's just more than that. So I think that's kind of the moral of the story and the lessons from the trenches. And at the end of the day, like I said, I'm still very grateful for the impact that we didn't experience.
Yeah.
I also have to give a shout out to our clients. We sent out an email, and it's funny because
with a sad picture
of
us working in the same
sitting
office.
on each other's shoulders, basically. And the response has been just so kind. And this is a human thing, right? Folks have given us space. They understand that we're going through some stuff, and more concerned for us than for themselves. And that's what makes this business just so rewarding. It really does. I'm gonna get all sappy.
Don't do that.
I need a drink.
You do need a drink. You stop talking for a second while I rein it in here. So, in our business, we talk about insurance. We don't sell insurance here. That's not because we don't believe in it, obviously.
It's mostly because we don't like to.
Well, it's not fun.
It's not.
Someone who likes insurance and likes to talk
God
about
bless
it,
them.
turn and run. No, I'm just kidding.
God bless them.
But what I would say is we do encourage our clients in our regular reviews to reassess your life insurance, your disability. Those are the two that we kind of focus on.
Yep.
All right, have there been any changes? Pay raises, job changes that necessitate a look at your life insurance or your disability insurance policies, right? why in the heck would we not do that with our property and casualty and the other things that we don't talk about much? So we did an episode way back,
Right.
way back on insurance. And yes, I admit it was boring. But we
This
talked
one was
about
way better.
we talked about different types of insurance, and I think that as far as from a financial advisor's perspective, from a financial planning perspective, make sure that this is part of that annual meeting or that that review that we're looking at all of these things. Now, I'm not saying that everybody that comes in here bring me your property and casualty.
Oh,
I'm just going to say.
I'm saying that just for your
gonna
clients.
Go, all right, good, you got it. But make sure you're reviewing that with your insurance guy as well, or gal, whoever it is.
Well, this does bring up a good point. I mean, I think part of our practice and just the practicality of what we do, it is something we probably need to hone in on a little bit more with our clients.
It only takes one time.
That's right.
It only takes one time.
Learn from the Great Flood of 2023.
When the levee broke. Cue the Led Zeppelin.
That's right.
All right. Well, thanks for having a drink with us this week, folks. It's time to close out the tab. If you have a question or a topic you want addressed on the Old Fashioned Finance podcast, be sure to email us at podcast@bluejfg.com. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to share the show with someone you love or just someone who needs a little money.
Or hate.
Or hate, right, like you said the last episode. You
Why
can
not?
stay up to date with the latest action by following us on Facebook. Old Fashioned Finance is brought to you by Blue Jay Financial Group. That's bluejfg.com.
Hey,
and
that's
produced by Podastery Studios.
Hey,
Good guys.
that's right.
And gals. We've been your hosts, Caleb and Jason.
Cheers.
Behind the back. Cheers.
Chrysanthemum.
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 Try to say that after 2 days.
Oh, no, I can't. I'm sweating.
Blue Jay Financial Group, LLC. Blue Jay is a registered investment advisor registered with the state of Ohio. Registration does not imply a certain level of skill or training. The presence of this advertisement on this podcast shall not be directly or indirectly interpreted as a solicitation of investment advisory services to persons of another jurisdiction unless otherwise permitted by statute. Follow-up or individualized responses to a consumer in a particular state by Blue Jay and the rendering of personalized investment advice for compensation shall not be made without first complying with jurisdiction requirements or pursuant an applicable state exemption. All verbal and written consent on this presentation is for information purposes only. Opinions expressed herein are solely those of Blue Jay unless otherwise specifically cited. Material presented is believed to be from reliable sources, and no representations are made by our firm as to other parties' informational accuracy or completeness. All information or ideas provided should be discussed in detail with an advisor, accountant, or legal counsel prior to implementation.